one of the three keys is the ground up approach and your fascial fitness. So, ground up approach means starts from the bottom up. You wouldn't want to build a house, from the top down and have like little sticks at the bottom because that foundation is going to fall. So, same thing for your body. If your body's not doing good and you're all big and strong up here, you could bench 225, 10 plus reps, but then you're never even focused on your feet, shins, and ankles, then it's bound to happen. You just, tumble, crumble, fall. So this is something I realized not too long ago. I've had Achilles shin pain, and I've always just tried to address that thing. But a lot of times it's either upstream or downstream. That's where your problems come from. But here we're taking the ground up approach. So first thinking Achilles shin, what's under that? What's under that? What's under that? And what's under that is your damn foot. Your top of your foot, the bottom of your foot, your toes, all that. So think about this. Your foot, when you run, say if you have a relaxed foot and you're running and you're just kind of slapping your arm, which is at the floor, you might experience ankle pain, joint pain. This might have to move a lot, and it goes up the chain, probably your Achilles and then shins and all that. But say if you put a lot of tension in your foot and it's strong, and you could grip the floor with your foot, you could pick up and use it much more. You could be more athletic, and you could disperse that energy, not just to, your Achilles or your shin or anything like that. So actually having tension in the hand, which is your foot, um, will help with dispersing that energy. Because personally, for me, I used to run not even thinking about my feet. My foot was like a flipper. I just fucking slap it on the floor. It was like this dud. Never really had any. I never had any intention with it, and that bit me in my ass since I've had pretty good shin splints and Achilles problems and everything, and never really had any tension in my foot. If you look at any elite athletes, they have their feet look like freaking claws. Like they have very visible flexor tendons on top of the foot, and then their feet are like curled so they could actually grip the floor. And they have a really, really prominent anterior tibial tendon, which is the muscle or the tendon that actually locks your foot up. So if your kind of foot doesn't really lock up and it's all dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, like if you're strong in those ranges, cool. But if you're not and you're just in those ranges, and then you're gonna hurt yourself. They also have some pretty gnarly calf muscles because to even have those calf muscles, you have to be able to use your foot properly and get into knee over toe positions and actually just push off right and use your gastroc and your shoulders in the right way. And I say fascial fitness, that sounds like a big, broad, like, what does that even mean? Well, if you ever looked at your foot, they call the bottom of your foot plantar fascia. So plantar fascia is your fascial fitness. So if your foot is able to be stiff and has good fascial fitness, you can disperse that energy from your foot and ankle and Achilles and shin, knee, etc. like much more easier than having a low fascial fitness, not much tension in your foot, and just it going straight to the joint, straight to the joint, straight to the joint. So having this idea and thinking about your foot as an extra tool for you to get faster or an extra tool for you to actually get pain free is very helpful and key, because if you're neglecting your foot, you're neglecting everything else. Like if you're if you're if you're neglecting your foot, you're neglecting your foundation. You're basically building up top, and then a day or two later, it's just all gonna fall because you never built the foundation. So it starts from the foot, top of the foot, toes, ankle, Achilles, soleus, gastroc, shin, tibialis, posterior tibialis, anterior tibialis, like all that stuff, perineals, like starts from there. But you gotta go from the bottom. And if your foot doesn't have any tension, any strength, then the whole foundation is going to crumble and your joints are going to feel it much more than it would when you actually have some strong feet that could take a lot of that load off and disperse that energy and make it into, athletic energy, which, if you look at those really high jumpers, really, really fast people, they run on the balls of their feet. No one athletic runs on their heels. But the reason why they're able to run on the balls of their feet is because they actually have strong feet to balance themselves like that. The balls of their feet is right here. Say this is my foot. And so what would they have to use? Their freaking toes. And then their ankle has to be really strong to even hold that connection. So if you have strong feet, then you're much more able to do much more athletic things and be able to play longer, feel more pain free, and just something I was never aware about, and I'm sure you were never aware about actually having strong feet. It doesn't mean just like walk outside and fucking stomp on the concrete. Like there's actual training things for that to get your foot strong. Because a lot of people can't even bend their toes. So if you can't bend your toe, how are you gonna bend your toes in the shoe when you're running, jumping, cutting, doing anything? Like so, this is just pretty important stuff. And and if you're missing that, then you have that much more to gain and that much more to be aware about. Like, well, yeah, been neglecting my feet. Let me not neglect my feet. So